You know, I think this one right here, it kind of meshes well with Marco's normal playing style. I think Marco likes, not really playing the game of football, and that right there is probably why.
I think it's more so that Marco likes to show off, and the more
Mm,
opportunities he has to catch the balls, the more people's ankles he gets the opportunity to break, then the better. And well, you know,
mm-hmm. That's sure going to be interesting. But I believe that Robert right here just stole another good pick with the Mastodon Sharad Ravishankar. You know, as long as no one brings any alcohol, I believe that this pick here is locked in.
yeah, no, he's got length to him, he's got reach, and I don't know about his speed this year, but I feel like he might be able to at least touch his fingertips to the ball.
Mm. I feel like that speed really it's gone down since he left the track scene. Now he no longer runs. Instead, he's out there, doing stuff with NASA. It's kind of crazy how your life changes like that.
Yeah, well, life moves on, people grow, people change, and Sherrod is certainly one of them.
Talking about changes, though, our next pick right here might just change your mind about Marco's team. We have Austin NG coming off the board.
Yeah, I'm sometimes I'm always scared to say his last name, but at the same time, he does have a first name, so we can always say that.
Absolutely, and just remember this is live recording. Um, if something does slip up, they will catch you. But one thing they haven't done is caught Austin. This man right here, he is a speeding bullet, also known as Austin Rogers in the football scene himself. Have you seen him throw?
Well, I can tell you what, Austin Rogers, you'd like to think that name holds up, but we've seen him this year, or rather, we haven't seen Austin Rogers or Aaron Rodgers, that is, much this year. So hopefully, that is a not a bad omen, rather, for his game this year.
Mm-hmm. But I do believe that there is another pick off the board. And Robert selects Zachary Tulip. Not
He's pretty
actually
as
a
a
tulip,
flower.
though, but he is pretty as a flower.
Oh yeah.
I heard that he just arrived. This is a uh, international transfer to the SFL.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to find your way out of the swamp, and he managed to do it and get all the way to Katy, Texas for some football.
That
Man,
right there is quite
that's
impressive.
respectfully.
Absolutely respectful. And, I think that this right here might be one of those that, the people will be thinking during the next draft, why was he drafted so low? But someone who's not drafted too low and might be drafted too high is next up off the board with Marco selecting Alex Muffler, aka the Rubber Duckster. Um, Once again, I just don't know how this pick even got this high. I feel like this one probably should have slid down a little bit in the ranking, but that's just me. Once again, this isn't Andy. Andy's already been taken. Maybe this is why Marco tried to reach a little bit for Alex Muffler.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's a fun guy. He boosts morale at least. You can say that much about the guy.
Mm-hmm. And
He'll die for a ball.
he'll die for a ball. Won't catch it, but he'll die for it. And
He'll
that's always
certainly try.
respectable. Mm-hmm. Someone who won't try, though, is next up off the board. We have JD Salcedo, also known as John Daniel. Um, One of the best things about him is he won't try. In fact, if there's a way to bypass the system, he'll pay for it to work that way. And that right there on his own, I feel like that's a good pick. I can't speak for myself. I don't own a team or anything like that. But if it were to happen this way, I wouldn't have anyone else on my account or my register working that shit.
He'll show up in the Nike Elites, I can tell you that much. So, and that
He will.
alone gives you at least a 2% boost in power.
Mm-hmm. And then once again, if you're guarding him, there's no chance you're holding on to him. Not because he's too fast or anything like that, but if he starts sweating, it's going to be a whole pool out there on the field and
Greasy.
greasy. But with that, our next pick is off the board. We have Miggy Alejandria, also one of the Gonzalez twins. You didn't know this, but they're actually a couple years apart.
I mean, I certainly didn't know that. News
I
to me.
just I just wanted to give that to you. I felt like it was one of those things that not a lot of people know. Miggy, I'm trying my hardest to say his name, but there is a chance that something slips up here. It's one of those that's kind of that iffy grade, that iffy line. But you know, he does his job, and I believe that this right here will be a star come
You know
Saturday.
what? He will show up.
Mm,
Mm.
that is true right there.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else who will show up is next off the board. We have Josh Castell. One of the best things about Josh is that he will show up, and he will show up dressed up. He's
God, he
ready to
looked
get in.
good. We're
He
gonna look good
does.
doing it.
Recently just moved down from away from Wisconsin. Had the opportunity that SFL gave him, and now he's back in at a full-time schedule, mind you. He works and lives SFL, and I believe that right there, that's a keeper.
And God, I just want to further emphasize, he's just, man, he just looks so good doing it. I
You
gotta
know,
stop looking at the slide, man.
don't worry too much because there's someone else who can't keep their hands to themselves, and that would be next up off the board. We have Tony Mai.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
Sorry. Zachary Holder was next off the board. How could I forget this? Our former coach.
He has fallen from grace, tell you that much.
He has not even a top 10 pick this year. What do you think made that happen, Carter?
I think it's just his lack of presence these days in the football sphere. I mean, you speak to him on advice, and it just doesn't hit the same as it used to. You feel like he used to be so much more in tune with the world and the vein. His chakras were aligned, and I think they're a little loose now.
That is true. I would like to say, though, if you gave this man a clipboard, he'd still have that play that he needs to run. And, we can never forget that. But we will move on to the next one because we really don't care about Zachary Holder. Next up off the board, we have Tony Mai. What did I say? He just can't keep his hands to himself. And with hands like that,
no, absolutely not.
I wouldn't want him on the opposite team. I'd rather him be on my team.
Look, as someone who used to wear Call of Duty merchandise, you almost can't trust the guy, but seems like someone has today.
Someone has. And that right there, that's a leap of faith. Next up off the board, we have John Wancho Win. I feel like this is a pretty good one. He comes straight from the ghetto, and you know that they got hands over there. There's no way that he's not going to be getting through that line and tackling that quarterback. Plus, he does Muay Thai now. Did you hear about that?
I have heard. Granted, you're not really supposed to be kicking the balls or punching the balls, but I can't speak for his opponents. So maybe not converting anything, but he might make some people pay for their transgressions.
I feel like that right there might be, a personal foul or a flag that could potentially be happening. But we'll see come Saturday. All bets are off. Next up, taken from the list, is none other than Leo Castellanos. I'm just going to say that this right here is a good pick. Overall, this guy was Diamond 5. Did you know that?
He did peak.
Peak. Hasn't been Diamond since, but he was Diamond 5, just so you know. Outside of that, this is the Pussy Linda. This is him. I feel like this is a fantastic pick here. At this late in the stage, this is a steal.
Yeah, I mean, he's a true lover boy. I mean, if I'm lining up next to him, I'm probably distracted. If I'm lining up across from him, I'm definitely distracted,
Absolutely. I'm not making a tackle. I'm making a kiss.
Ooh,
but
shit.
That's just me. And I wanted to tell you the next person that got taken off is someone else I would kiss. Carter Van.
I
feel like this right here is a fantastic pick right here. They definitely got who they needed, who they were looking for with this pick right there.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's at least good for one half. I mean, look at the guy. Do you not see the way he's looking in your soul? He's trying to communicate with you. I'm only good for one half. That's about it. But you can count on him when it matters. That's all that matters.
I feel like that's what Marco's looking for. He only needs that one half team because the other half he's going to take over, right?
I mean, that's what I presume the plan is. I mean, he's just going to warm up in the first half, take a couple of easy balls, and then turn it on in the second half because he really wants to maintain that MVP spot.
Talking about someone who will help you through both halves is Arjun Patel coming in next. I mean, look at this guy. He's such a cutie. I feel like we're not even
How
gonna
the
tackle him.
fuck?
We're just gonna.
Beaumont,
My mom's
England.
Facebook page?
Look at that. Little bugger.
The hide is rancid, bro. You can't do that to a man.
Dude, RG is looking so cute, bro. I'm gonna have to touch him.
I mean, if you see his strengths,
My
he's a
bad.
flirt, cutie, and a sweetie pie, and highly sought after, as you can see down the news reportings in relation to the certified cutie competition. I mean, he is a highly sought after specimen, and so
Mhm.
the
That
fact
is
that
true.
Robert was able to pick him up, I mean, shit. The fact that he went this late, it's impressive, really.
I think it's very impressive indeed. Something else that's impressive, and maybe not so impressive, is the next person off the board. We have Joel Kenneth.
Oh.
You know, I think this right here, after his performance last year, this is the most reasonable spot you could ever see drafting him. He might have gone in later rounds, but I think the best part about it is that he stopped smoking cigarettes. I lied, he hasn't started smoking cigarettes. He probably still puffs a pack or two every single day. And if he doesn't come to the games puffing at least 4 or 5, there's no way you're starting him.
Well, when it comes down to it, we don't even know where he's from. I mean, he's just a mystery man. He just shows up looking like Slender Man, and he just catches balls. It's
Yeah.
just how it falls.
It's just one of those things, you know, when you need Joel to show up, he'll be there. But if you need him to do something for you, like drop a diss track, potentially he would never do that. I feel like this is just such a terribly paced pick. Once again, but with that, we're gonna move on to the next one. We have someone with no back getting drafted. This is a first in SFL history. Also, it happened last year too, but Evan is off the board here.
I mean, he has back, but he also doesn't have back, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. That is true. I think the most important thing about this pick right here is that we won't be looking for him to catch the ball. We'll just be looking at his ass the whole entire game. And that right there, that might be a steal.
It could be a steal. It just really depends on the weather. You never know what's going to get to him.
Absolutely. We'll see come game day, but I do believe in this pick here. The next pick, though, I believe in even more. We have the next QB taken off the board. We have Tarif. I think this right here is a great pick. I mean, just look at it. Do you see that chin right there? There's no way you're going to be tackling him if you're that defensive player. He's going to make it out of the pocket. He's going to scramble. He's going to get you the yards you need. And this right here, this is who we look for when we draft.
Look,
Wait,
that's
who
a
the
man.
fuck is that?
That's a man in love. And you know what he loves? Winning.
Winning, absolutely.
God, he's going to win.
I just can't wait to see him win all over me. I'm going to be honest. Like, the best part about this is that this pick is so flexible. You can go anywhere with it. You can put him at the line. You can put him on receiver. You could even put him back at running back. And he's still going to do just as well. This is such a flexible pick.
You can stretch him. You can open him up wide. And he'll always come back together.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Next pick off the board, we have Greg Grimes. This right here, this is a fantastic pick. I mean, I don't see how he drops so low. It might be his off-field issues that are kind of holding him back. For instance, his League of Legends chat logs, or even possibly his, discourse among people during League of Legends game. But I think that's the only thing that's holding him back. He has freak measurables. Like his 40 time, insane. His jump height, insane. His arm span, there's no way you're going to be catching over Gregory Grimes. I think this is a fantastic pick right here.
No, I mean, it's true. He'll bring a lot of different variables to any team, you know, whether it's the fact that has these hands that, for what a reason I cannot explain, can cup an ass cheek like no one else's. I mean, you know, when you get smack on the ass, it's just the way that he cups his hand. It just really gets the circulation going. It just boosts the morale, and my heart rate it spikes. And I don't know, maybe I'm just feeling other things, but you know, you never know.
He can hit it at any angle, and it would still do its job. And it would have also, the same sound effect as the most perfect DAP. It's just fantastic.
Yeah.
I feel like the only issue with this pick here, though, is if you are starting to lose, this one might turn a little